Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, presented by Cinematic Visions, and we've got another edition of Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane. We've not had many differences of late. I doubt we'll have many in the next couple of weeks because we have a lot of exciting things coming up. We've got a big trip looming. We'll each be taking parades down memory lanes of different kinds, and it should be a lot of fun. And, of course, we'll always bring you thoughts and ideas and suggestions about things that we are watching, including Jane's revved up version. Total binging is going on now for one of the series that she watches, and it was kind of a cool documentary that she was gazing upon. Jane got the thrill of a lifetime today to see a picture of 16-year-old me, and we'll talk a little bit about that. That's part of the memory lane part. Gary Larson put out an interesting Facebook post the other day, and I got a lot of attention. It was about America's favorite Chiefs fan, or the world's favorite Chiefs fan, Taylor Swift. And also, we're going to do some disco. We're going to do a lot of different things here during this particular edition of Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane. It's all part of Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, presented by Cinematic Visions. Lots on the menu. Let's eat.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300. It's always a pleasure to catch up with Dr. Brad Woodle from Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. There are 8 locations all around Kansas City, including the newest one in Raytown.
In Raytown, we just joined Raytown July 1st. We took over for a retiring doctor, Dr. David Frey, and we are just honored to see all of his patients and take care of the Raytown community.
And communities all around Kansas City with the best of care in a wide variety of fashions.
We do chiropractic using multiple techniques, acupuncture, disc decompression therapy, cold laser therapy, different physiotherapies, exercises, whatever you need for your bones, muscles, joints, and nerve pain, we can help.
Find that help at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture, 8 locations all around Kansas City. Visit ASFCA.com. If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you. Welcome back, and yes, indeed, we have our long-standing big trip planned and looming. Actually, by the next time you hear from us, we'll be on the trip. Whether we're gonna do something while we're on the trip. I mean, as far as recording, we're gonna do plenty, but we'll have to wait and see. I will bring my recording gear, but I don't know whether we'll be in the mood to do that or not. But we are taking off a week from Thursday, spending a week in the Northeast. The template of the trip, or at least the basic reason for it, is my high school reunion. It'll be fun to see old friends and people who I haven't seen probably in the entire time since I've been in high school. Some of them have been to some of reunions. Some of them are Facebook friends. Some of them are good friends. So, and one of those good friends is somebody we'll be staying with for a day or two down on Cape Cod. So lots of fun things to do. But one of the things we also are going to do down on Cape Cod is go to Falmouth, which was the home of the College Light Opera Company. And we're going to go around Falmouth and see some old haunts and see the theater. Take me down that summer that you had in Falmouth, to a summer place. So it's a summer of 42, except it was more like summer of 82.
I don't remember that.
Whatever it was.
Oh, yes. Well, It was an amazing summer. It was kind of crazy. One doesn't forget it. We did like 7 shows in 8 weeks. 7 shows in 8 weeks. And we did Gilbert and Sullivan. We did light operetta. We did musicals. And I was the lead in 5 of the 7 shows. Let's just say my brain was fried by the end of it. But we stayed in this, and the Highfield Theater complex is still there where we all lived. It's kind of like this giant Tudor home with a lot of cabins in the back where we rehearsed and lived. And then there's the Highfield Theater where we performed, and it's just, it's all there. They're going strong. It's been a life force.
They have 9 presentations this summer.
Well, maybe we did 8 and 9. You know, that's probably what it was. I'm telling you, it was insane. I mean, I couldn't memorize anymore by the end of the summer. We were just like, I'm done. But we had a blast, and I have friends for life from that amazing experience also.
So how much time did you have to do other things?
What are you talking about? We literally, all I remember is sort of walk, because it's really, where we lived is really close to the water. And so I remember walking there to and from once in a while, just in a daze, because we were so busy. And I remember going to like Jones Pond, and we did hang out a little bit and have some parties and stuff, but it's pretty darn intense.
Well, it sounds like it was a wonderful time, and it'll be great to, I'm sure some other memories will be raised as you walk along and see the sights. And Falmouth's a lovely place, and we're going to maybe take a bike ride there. And you do Jane does basically all the planning for these trips that we go on. She asked me for suggestions, and I really only want to have veto power, because she'll do a great job in doing that anyway. So that should be a tremendous amount of fun. And it's the next town over from where we were staying, from my longtime friend since actually young boyhood, John Bridge and his wife. Will be staying with them. They have a house in the city, and they have a house on the Cape, and they're avid golfers, and it'll be fun to see them. John is going to the reunion. His wife is not. Probably, I don't know, maybe a wise decision by her. I don't know. He just went to hers recently. So
Danny has a lot of cute boys in his class. Yeah. I think I have more fun at his reunion than mine.
We'll see if they're still cute. Maybe not as cute as me when I was 16 years old. Jane saw a picture today of me at 16. I'm at some kind of a church camp function. I met this girl in the picture, who's a lovely, lovely girl, Kelly Weathers. How I ever hooked up with her is hard to believe, to be honest, how shy I was when I was a teenager. That picture, my brother posted it on Facebook. I had never seen that picture, ever. And I've got kind of a
shirt,
crazy,
Danny.
Wild shirt on. And I think it's the best teenage picture I've ever seen of myself.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
I mean, not to say I look great with
very cute,
with my Bill
pushing
Bixby,
to handsome,
with my Bill Bixby aviator glasses and haircut. So anyway, it brought back memories, and I guessed who it. I'm like, who the heck is the girl in the picture? And I said, and then it just came to me, and I said that looks like it must be Kelly Weathers. That was her name. And I said on Facebook, Jim, is that Kelly Weathers? And he goes, yes, sirree. We had a double date with her and a friend of hers once, and he actually had more of a crush on his date than I did on her. She was lovely, and she was not the brightest bulb on the tree, but she was a lovely girl, and it was fun. And to bring back that memory is a cool thing. There'll be many memories. There'll be many people there. It looks like upwards of 300 people are going to be at this reunion, which is in... I went to Framingham North High School, which we've probably talked about. I know we've talked about before. Does no longer exist, but the reunion is in Milford, Massachusetts, which is where I first worked after college in radio at WMRC, which does still exist, and I lived there for about 3 years, maybe more like 2, and so Jane will get to see where I used to run 8 miles a day, and the radio station is still there, and I lived in 2 different places that are very close to the radio station. In fact, one was 2 houses down, which really was a curse, because if anybody was ill or it snowed, I had to cover for everybody. But anyway, that'll be a lot of fun, so we'll look forward to that. But when I was thinking about this, I was also thinking, and I'll get to the disco part of this, last night before you descended into the soap opera that we'll talk about here in a minute. You were watching a documentary called Love, Charlie, the rise and fall of Chef Charlie Trotter. It's a 2020 documentary, and it's about a very famous chef and his rise and fall. And it actually won the Best of Fest at the 57th Annual Chicago International Film Festival. I did not watch it. It's kind of a up and down, happy and sad story. How was it?
Oh my gosh, it was so good, and it brought back so many memories because when I was living in Chicago is when Charlie Trotter was becoming mega famous. And I used to walk right by Charlie Trotter's. I was there once. That just did my pocketbook in for a week. But I used to walk by there all the time because it's right at Armitage and Sheffield's where my boyfriend then, that's another story, he lived right by the LTAX. So I would see a lot of stuff going on there all the time. And it was like there was this thing about Charlie Trotters. You'd walk by, there was this hush because he was becoming so famous and he was so good at what he did. But the reality was the business, and I kind of lived a little bit in that because I worked for hotels while I was singing on the sidelines. Chefs, it's a tough life. And when you want to be the best in the world, which is clearly what he was for a moment, because everyone bowed down to him. He was the first to do the microgreens in the United States. I mean, unbelievable stuff he was thinking of before everybody else did. But then, his quirkiness and I think he was really trying to prove to his dad that he could be his very successful father. And that was part of his undoing because he just couldn't, he was such a perfectionist. He started, getting ill, and it's an amazing documentary. I think anyone would enjoy watching it, even if you aren't from Chicago or didn't have the experiences I did. It shows you what it's like to be a chef. And then all these other chefs came up after him, and some have really famous restaurants there now that we've got to go to.
How was the food? Do you remember? You remember everything about food.
Oh my God. I can't remember exactly. It's been so long, but I remember it being so unique that you were sitting there going, and he was right. It's like the customer isn't always right. You control what they're going to get, and then they'll suddenly realize that they're experiencing something that they never had before. And so it was a surprising, and it was a lovely place. I mean, it's a little dated now. I think it was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right.
So,
and he was famous enough that he had a couple of cameo appearances in movies and things like that. He had a stroke and died at the young age of 54. So that's called Love, Charlie, The Rise and Fall of Chef Charlie Trotter, and an outstanding documentary and a reason to think about Chicago, where we have been many times. We haven't been for quite a while, and but it's always was fun going there with Jane because she'd take me here or there, and we'd go to the store where the only place she can get her hairbrush.
Chicago, there's nothing like Chicago. I don't know what I can say about it, but there's just so many great neighborhoods. It's not all downtown. Some of the best restaurants are not right downtown. And so if you do a little excursioning, if that's possible, I mean, oh my God, just such great memories.
Actually, we went and saw your friends in Chicago a couple of years ago. So
we'll be back
then. So
yes.
We went back then. But the chef part made pop into my head the thought of the little place we went to in Barcelona, which had only seated maybe 12 people, tops, including a little outdoor spot. And the chef would come by and tell you what you were going to eat and what we were going to eat.
Barmut, M-U-T-T.
Yeah, it's a little place there. But it's famous, and if you go to Barcelona, you should go there. But anyway, his choice this time, he says, you are going to eat, you can order anything else you like, but you're going to eat the goat.
I know, and we're like, oh my God.
We're going to eat goat.
It was fantastic.
And the goat had he'd been working on it for 2 days, so it was tender and delicious, and anyway, that kind of made me think of that. But Chicago also makes me think of the fact that many times when Jane is either about to work out or talking about working out, or something pops up that reminds her of it, she will think of the song "Relight My Fire," and Chicago was where you were dancing?
No, that was before. This was when I was at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, going to the alternative bar, disco dancing with all my